Lisa says hi. I say hey back. I hope you're doing well. Lisa sent heart me. Thank you very much. Lisa shared the live. Thank you. And Lisa reposted. Thank you again. Let's get better. We're gonna need to be sharper than that. Somebody whose name I can't quite read sent a rose. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Thank you for the rose. Lisa sent a go popular. Thank you. Brippy says hello. Nini and Charlie says good evening. I say hey back. I hope you're doing well. I think we need... This piece of clay is really dry. Hopefully the ones after this will be easier. Brippy sent a little crown. Thank you so much. Val followed the light creator. Thank you very much. Brippy says, I got my stuff today. That's awesome. I'm so glad. The miniature eye, correct? The mini eye. Beal just sent a heart me. Brippy says, everything is so beautiful. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Brippy says yes in the donuts and the vase. Yeah, that was a good group. Marco says, it was still on when I went to sleep this morning. Yeah, I noticed that someone sent me a message. So what I did earlier today was I did like a 2-minute live to refresh it. Seems like it worked. I don't know. It's all messed up. Simple Disaster says, hi. I say hey back. I hope you're doing well. I'm starting with a scrap piece tonight, so it's going to be a little hard to work with. I apologize about that. Simple Disaster says it's still snowing. Oh, stay safe. I'm lucky with the temperature where I'm at, but my heat went out today, so we need to get that fixed soon. I got a sweater on right now as I'm throwing. Mary Ann Beast in a Rose, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Missy followed the library, thank you very much. Monica says, hey y'all. Britt P says, everyone in these storms, please stay safe. I second that. I'd appreciate if people could hit up the likes tonight. It seems like we might have to do a little more work than usual. Christina says, hi Ryan. I say hey back. Belinda says, hello everyone. Amy says, hey everyone. Hopefully we are all tap. Mary says, sorry about your heat. I'm lucky everything is working here in VA. Let's hope it stays that way. I think this might be the shape we're going for. Teresa followed the live creator. Thank you very much. So, Ra followed the live critic. Stacy sent a heart me. Thank you very much. Mary Amby says, won't get above freezing, so the roads remain a challenge. Yeah, stay in as much as you can. Bill just says, you know, something's going on when it's strong winds in South Mississippi. Yeah. Laura likes thanks in the heartbeat. Thank you very much. Tanya Garcia says, love your work always, Ryan. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think this is the shape. Mary Amby sent a little crown. Thank you so much. Hey Shop, shared live, thank you very much. Tracy L sent a heartbeat and says hi everyone. I say hey back. Okay, the plan tonight was to try out some transfers. Let's see what will fit. Peg says nice. Thank you. This one is a little too big, so can't do that one. What about this? Simple as says, ooh, transfer time? Hopefully. Hey, Britt P sent a lot of little crowns and Amy sent little crowns. Thank you very much. Okay, what about just a strong... And we'll just do 2 of them. Ellie from Cali says, I'm glad to be back. I am glad you are as well. Thank you very much, Britt P and Ellie and Amy for the little crowns. Ellie from Cali sent a rose. Thank you very much. Okay. Britt P says dibs. Thank you so much. From Kai says, but my picture doesn't load yet. I'm now seeing a lot of things aren't loading super well right now. Hopefully we'll get things figured out soon. That's looking pretty good. Simple Disaster says, beat me to it. How long did people stay in the frozen chat? I don't approve of whatever was discussed there. Mr. Robin says, hey, didn't know you were on. I'm glad. Amy says, I was there for a while. It was just as Disaster was in here practically all night. Oh my. Oh, I messed that up a little. Peg followed the live career. Thank you very much. Simple Disaster says, I was in the frozen chat till 8 a.m. my time, but I was asleep. Okay, fair. That's fair. As long as you're asleep. Solitary reposted, thank you very much. It's getting a little messy. Let's not push too much. Just want to make sure it's wet enough. This blue one tends to be a little bit tricky to get right. So we'll see how well it comes off. Bill just says, I struggled to fall asleep knowing it was on. It was stressful. It was a bit stressful for me too. Solitary says, that's cute. Never seen you add designs. I don't do it often because I kind of hate it. Just the process. But it's popular and they sell well, so I should do them more often. Okay, let's try to take it off. Ellie from Kelly says, mine has the red flowers. Yeah. Terry Mexican says, yo, Ryan, I missed your last one last night. Yeah, I'll show people. It cut off in the middle. It was a really cool one, too, so I was sad to see that. Oh, this didn't transfer at all. Let's add more water. Abe Zahid says, transfer? Yep. Let's see if it works, though. These are pretty old ones. Bert P says, I fell asleep early after my dibs last night. Well, you didn't miss much. Okay, let's really press. I re-wet it, and then we're gonna just go on a lot heavier. It's probably gonna uncenter it, so it'll be hard to decorate after. Simple Disaster says, that's a beautiful pattern though. Yeah, let's just hope it actually works. Nope. No, it's really not working. Damn. Benjamin says, have you ever used the tapping with a stick method? No. For what? Yeah, this transfer Foley isn't gonna work. Unfortunate. We're gonna have to do something different with this. You can undibs it for sure, because this was a miss. Abe says, maybe more water. I put about twice as much water as I normally do, so I think it's something wrong, particularly with the transfer itself. Bielsa says, I wonder if these dry out. I mean, maybe, but like it should rehydrate when you add the water. So I'm gonna just do some crazy design on top to finish it off and switch to a different transfer after this. But for pieces, it looks kind of cool on it. It doesn't. I understand looking at the bright side, but it's a full miss. Jerry Mexican says, is it an old transfer? It is. But a lot of these are. I've always had trouble with this blue one. It doesn't transfer well. So Terry says, is there a way you can give it an age look? What I'm going to do is do designs on top of it. So what comes through might look more like it's complete, because it will just be a distressed piece overall. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one, and I'm going to move on to ones I think are going to work better. Benjamina says, it's art. Fair. Amy says, I say leave it. It makes it look antique. If I leave it like this, it will get even more faded. when it's fired, there's a chance you don't see the pattern at all. Abe says porcelain and cobalt always look good. Yeah, if you can get the effect to transfer it. But I've had, what's it called, bad luck with the cobalt blue. But what I do, I've done this before on the blue that didn't transfer well, where you do lines where it's really weak. Ellie from Cali says, is mine with the red flowers done? I don't believe so. And then I'm going to do a texture on top of that. Because us says he needs a treat. True. And then I'll show off the texture I did last night. Simple Vesper said, sent 5 of Go Popular, thank you. Abe says, how about filling in the gaps? Not my skill set. I'm very bad at painting. If you mean like filling in the gap design, this would be highly detailed. Simple Disaster sent 3 little crowns. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It might have been more than... Yeah, it was a lot more than 3 little crowns. Thank you so much. That got me up to 5. Okay, let's see what this looks like. I still think it needs more. I'm not sure what. Dave says, but that makes it awesome. Beal just says, I love it. Britt P says, I love it. Fair enough. I won't argue too hard on that. I do like the top a lot. I think the pizza tool saved that aspect of it. And it's black on the inside, which is a nice look. Beal just says, I think it's done. Cool. Let's move on to another one then. I'm going to just dry these lines. I do really like the black lines over the blue. Britt P says, I want to keep my dibs. That is your prerogative. If you want it, then this is yours. Solitary says, I like the low ridges. Debbie Millett says, love it. Thank you. Mary Hayes Banks sent a heart me. Thank you very much. What's crazy about last night, freezing, is I can't tell if I got the tips from it. Like the monetary rewards section of it has is still frozen for me, so it doesn't tell me what I got from last night. Living a Dream Life says it's beautiful. Thank you. Simple Disaster. Oh yeah, I don't want to talk about that too much because I don't know how much you're allowed to say about it. So, but yeah, I've noticed that. Krishet says, hey Ryan, this is cute AF. Thank you. Yeah, I like that sort of dimpled ridge I did by putting the pizza tool right up at the top. Linda says, a lot of creators are having that issue, no tips. That is a big issue in my mind. That's one of the biggest issues that I could have. And yeah, it seems to be what happened last night, which is crazy because I got kind of the most tips I've gotten in a long time last night. I'm hoping it's just a delayed thing, not a permanent thing. Okay, I'm going to show off the one that it froze on last night. This is what it missed. I think this ended up really cool, especially the lower half. I had a good run with a continuous pizza tool, and then the yellow around the rim turned out great. That one tall chick says, I went through and reset my content preferences. It helped a ton. Interesting. I should look how to do that. Linda says, love the texture on that. Krisha says, can anyone else repost? Apparently I cannot. Yeah, I think a lot of people are still having trouble. Okay. And just for, if we didn't see what else I did last night, show those off. I'm really loving the pizza tool as a way to break up top and bottom of pieces. Chrisette, I understand the sentiment, but probably don't say that in the chat. Dirty Mexican says, you had a great ones last night. Yeah, I was actually quite happy. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next one after this. And this is gonna be fresher clay. People just, I would say, probably don't say that either. Two Boys and a Dog says, love. A Simple Disaster says, you have been on a roll for a while. Good stuff. Thank you. People just, Curbs, have you ever tried fruit? Yeah, I like fruit. Mr. Ram says, ice cream cone on the last one? Kind of, yeah, I can see it. Simple Disaster says, I tried to post a wheel update. It's done. Cool. Larry Mexican says, were they all spoken for last night? I think all but the last one. Yeah, I had a pretty good run last night of dibs, but the heavily textured one with the yellow rim, no. Simple Disaster says, it's not as cool as your work, but I made a functioning thing and I'm proud. I would like to see that, so send it to me in a message to make sure I can check that out. Kathleen reposted. Thank you very much. Two Boys and a Dog says, I love the one that has like a planter and a bird feeder at the bottom. I think it had black. Yeah, that dish at the bottom. We had a hard time making that work, but it ended up being good. Sublime Limey shared the live. Thank you very much. Amy says, you hit 20K followers. Congrats. Yeah, we're gonna probably hold off on doing any sort of celebration on that for a little while until everything's working. Simple Disaster says, that drip was great. I'm glad you liked it. Mary Ann B sent a little crown. Thank you very much. We need to try to make a big one. So I don't want to center this too much. Oh, nuts. I don't want to center this too much because we're wanting to make one big enough that we can fit the Fox transfer on it, even though the Fox transfer is also kind of a pain in how well it actually transfers. Benjamin says an acorn. And the Dirty Mexican says, Ryan, when was the last time you did a fire? I took two shipments in last, like, Thursday, I want to say. And one of them's done already. It's just a bisque, so it still needs to be glazed. But I'm hoping on Tuesday that the mid-range will be fired and done. Mary Ann B shared live. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And probably tomorrow night we'll be opening up a new bag of porcelain and we won't have to deal with this dry stuff anymore. Is that centered enough? It's gonna have to be. I think I need to open this up. We're going for tall, so I can use a Fox transfer on it. Britt P says, a freshie. Yes, exactly. This is going to get very off-center. But hopefully we'll be able to bring it back. Tracy says, will it be white or colored? The clay is a white clay. The Dirty Mexican says, what's your biggest expense? If I'm using a lot of the colored porcelain, that adds up really, really quickly. Each pound is about $12. But after that, it's underglaze. Now, it's probably firing and then underglaze, because the underglaze I've been buying lately has been more expensive. Oh, I'm not supposed to talk about that stuff because it can be read as like endorsement. Being extra careful in these next few lives. I think this is getting taller. Oh, Beetlejuice, you're correct. Shipping for sure. But the customer covers a portion of that at least. Only Fern says, does this make your fingers pruny or wrinkly? Yeah, it does. I try to keep them moisturized before and after, and just generally, but it affects them for sure. It took a while for that effect to kick in, but I do this every night, and eventually you're going to get that effect. They're still soft, but if I don't keep them moisturized, you have a bit of a dried out look. Melissa Carroll followed the live crew. Thank you very much. Bert P says, have you seen the girl singing Memories in the Garfield costume? It made me think of you. I'm pretty purist when it comes to my consumption of Cats media. I don't do any memes. I only do direct scenes. It's alright. There's no parody that exists that will amuse me. It is only the source content. Simple Vester says, winter hands but different, I guess. Biggity says, hey. I say, hey back. Southern Terp says, what is that sound? Do you have cats? I do have a cat, but he's not making the sound right now. You might be hearing the sound of the tool vibrating against the clay, and it sounds a little bit like a chirping. Ellie Ray says, if you have Lush nearby, try the flaxseed hand cream. It's amazing, great for winter hands. I'll check that out. I do have a Lush not too far. Burpee says, I just thought it was ironic and iconic that it came up after the 2019 Cats combo. You'll see cats everywhere once you start looking for it. Turbo says, hi, how late am I? We are on our second vase. Veronica followed the live creator. Simple as says, Cats 2019 purist. Absolutely I am. Though the Broadway one is funny and stupid in its own way. F5 followed the live crew. Thank you very much. Simple Disaster says the title of tomorrow's stream. I hope I don't title these. Henry followed the live crew. Thank you very much. I don't think I've changed the description in the 2 years I've thrown, even when I'm like supposed to, because there's been themes and such. Simple as this. She says, I'm talking to the AI. Don't do that. Get him to call me lazy again. I preferred that. Okay. That seems good. Let's see if it's big enough. I don't think it is. I don't think we're going to be able to make one big enough on this wheel. The Dirty Mexican says, go higher. I'm having trouble with this clay right now because it's so dry. I don't know if I can push it that much higher, but let's see. Oh, this mostly fits. It won't be perfect, but it mostly fits. A Simple Disaster Lazy Art says, Lazy Artist Cats 2019 Purist. That might get in there. I wouldn't mind that. Kieran says, did you make the wheel? No, I got this online. Only Friends, follow the live crew. Thank you very much. No dibs on this one because I've had someone requesting the sleeping fox because it looks like their dog for quite a while. Bert P says, hashtag lazy pottery. Simple as says that's a great transfer. It's a really nice transfer, like artistically, but it does have a hard time actually transferring, which is the thing that always pisses me off about these. But I'm gonna add a lot more water to this one. Biggity says I dibs any day, but I'm in Canada. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I wish I could. It's gonna go a little bit over. But I'm hoping this will be good enough. Yeah, dang, we got some. Hopefully we can just get it one big fold, and then the rest will be in place. It's right in the middle though. Let's see if I can just... Simple S says, oh, it's so perfect. Yes, let's fingers crossed that we get a good transfer on it. And how far over? Yeah, this is where we're going to take it off, so that's good. Okay, we start with sweeping, but once you start seeing the bleed through, you don't want to keep sweeping, you want to do a press instead. Any thoughts for the person that this is for is not here, so any thoughts on how I should decorate? I'm thinking probably just a black rim to go on top to keep it simple. Maybe a color on the inside. NH Woodworker, Bill, follow the live creator, thank you very much. Courtney says fox colors. Fox colors. Do I have fox colors? Would that be like radiant red? Tony says do brown on the inside. Terry Bear says the inside should match the color of the pattern. So that would be probably chocolate. I could do chocolate on the inside and then black rim. Courtney says orange and white. Beal just says I do black to be safe. Yeah, black rim for sure, just to be safe. That's always going to look nice. Okay, we're getting some bleed through. I think this is probably as wet as it needs to be. Tracy says chocolate would look great. I think that's a safe bet. I think this is a safe color scheme. Okay, we're going to try. Ellie Ray says chocolate. Okay, wish me luck. That's pretty good. Nimish says, anyone no longer able to watch TikTok stream in picture-in-picture? I did not know that was a thing. Ellie Ray says, so much better. Yeah, this one's good. Alec from Cali says, nice. We got a sleeping fox. I know someone else wants a jumping fox, but oh man, me pushing on it has deformed the shape. Let's see if I can push it back from the inside. Not perfect, but I think we can still get the rim. Rachel Martinez, follow the live critic. Thank you very much. Okay, I'll get the brush ready ahead of time. And I think chocolates got put away. Cheryl was doing pottery, so things got a little messed, or not messed up, but mixed around. A simple exercise. That's so great. The Dairy Mexican says, Ryan, are we ever going to meet your fiance? She's showed up on the stream a few times. Mostly when she's coming in, she'll say hi. But probably not officially. She would, when I did my podcast, she would do episodes where we would host together. Carol says, I'd say you have to have a lot of patience doing these smaller pieces. I think bigger pieces take more patience because they fall more often. Okay, slow it down a little for this next part. Simple Disaster says, and dealing with the chat. Yes, that literally does take more patience. Not even like a joking thing. It's just, it takes a lot of patience. You get a lot of the same questions. Because that says, pizza at the bottom isn't possible, right? Well, let's pause it and see. Because where we're off center is mostly on top. But I want to see how it would interact with the what we have. Peg says, do we ever see these painted and fired? We do. I can show you some fired ones, right, when I get this off the wheel. You think like pizza tool at the very bottom, it would cut into the fox a little bit is my main concern. So I think we're just going to leave it as is. But I do like the chocolate on the inside a ton. I think it's going to match well. Simple as that says, beautiful. Pretty pieces. This is so wonderful. I'm glad we like it. A little bit of heat so that the fox doesn't smudge. Viva Kiko, follow the live creator. Thank you very much. Tracy says, so pretty. Peg says, I like it. I'm glad you do. Okay. Next one we do should be like a bottle or like a jug to mix things up a bit instead of just doing jars all night. Hopefully we're just dealing with some hiccups with the app right now. I'm having a suspicion I'm gonna have to rebuild a bit of my presence on the algorithm. but I appreciate the people who come here nightly. That really helps. Cindy Watson, travel agent, sent a heart me. Thank you very much. Tina shared the live. Veronica shared the live. I appreciate that. Hey, Danette sent a hand hearts. Thank you very much, and thank you for earlier today helping me troubleshoot. Someone asked if we ever see done ones. Let's look at a couple of done ones. Hey, Brit P sent several little crowns. I appreciate that. Deb N says, beauty. Bridget says, hello, everyone. Tracy says, pretty. Terry Mexican says, love that. Tara Bear says, it's so pretty. Yeah, but this is classic drip with a blended drip is what I call it, where I put a layer of white and have it mix in with the drips. So you have the base blue here, and then it becomes part of the white. Here we have an example of the colored clay with some of these transfers we're doing tonight. Mindy Swanson shared the live, thank you very much. Patty followed the live here, thank you very much. This one is actually up online somewhere if people are interested in it. I believe a red and black line piece. Butterfly followed the live here, thank you very much. Deb N reposted, I appreciate that. Simple Disaster sent 10 super popular, thank you. Here is a Kitty Bay mushroom, poison mushroom. And then we have Tara says, wait, I believe this one is available on a platform. And then this one is just a very curvy two-chambered vase with dark clay and a white underglaze. Peg says, are they different prices? On a place, online, some of them range in price. For the divs system, they're all the same, which is $25. I'll show you two more. Oh, I said that Beal just had the only piece that has two handles, but that's not true. I have this one has two handles. They're not perfect, but handles are hard. Mary Amby says sassy. Agreed. People just so yeah, I forgot about that one too. Bridget says it's cute. And then last one before we get back to throwing. This is the turquoise with white dripped together, which I think ended up really cool. Their Mexican says, oh, love that. Oh, someone, I can't remember if that wasn't tonight, but someone mentioned oh, this is not a chip and dip bowl. I saw it when I saw it. This is a sombrero. Terry Bear says, that last one is very coquette. Crochet says, Beetlejuice is the queen for Ryan's collections. I think that is possible, but it's also possible. I can think of two people that might have surpassed in terms of quantity. Peg says, gotta check these out. Veronica followed the live critic. Thank you very much. Brit P says, yay, chip hat. This was a requested piece, but the person never claimed it. Okay, we're gonna get back to throwing. The Dirty Mexican says, I need a blue sombrero. I might be able to pull that off. It's been a while since I made that shape. It's kind of hard. But if you would want one, remind me on another stream when I'm doing less themed of a night. Trace says, I know I have several pieces. Yeah, and I appreciate that. Perpi says, I have 6 so far. That's a good collection. Yeah, Beetlejuice, I can think of 2 people who might have more than you, but I don't know if they want that information broadcasted, so I won't throw it out there. Amanda Davis says, I have 2 so far and plan to get more. I'm glad you do. Simple Disaster says, I'm going to build a little display box for your stuff. That's awesome. I love to see how people are presenting them. Lisa says, I'm waiting for my first, but I plan to get more. That's great. Lisa, send me a TikTok message. I don't know if I have been keeping good enough track. But if you send me a TikTok message, I can double check where yours is in the process. Though I might be confusing you with someone else. Stephanie says, I also have 2. They sit in my kitchen windowsill, so I can look at them as I do dishes. Are they ring dishes or are they vases? A lot of people have gifted bowls to will have it near where they do dishes, so they can put their rings in it. Stephanie says, I have a pumpkin and a little jug. I don't wear jewelry. Cool. I hope the pumpkin is not making a mocking face, because I feel like that would piss me off doing dishes. Lisa says, it's probably too soon to expect mine, but I'll send a message. Appreciate that. Yeah, and yeah, it does take a while, but I want to just make sure that I am keeping an eye out for it. Terry says, I want to get one of those mystery pumpkins soon. Yeah, for sure. I have some good pumpkins that were never dibsed that I wouldn't be pulling from the old box for a mystery pumpkin right now. Stephanie says, it's an uncomfy face, which fits the vibe. Mary Ann B says, I have a curio cabinet. Mine will go in there. Perfect place for it. Britt P says, mine are living with my crystals. Again, perfect place for it. There's a lot of perfect places for it. Would people be mad if I did one without any transfers on it? Stevie says, dishes are my least favorite thing, so I have to have happy things to look at for sure. Everyone says, I use mine for stitch markers. Awesome. Practical. CD Mouse, send a heart me. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Because this says, I love putting them on shadow boxes and thick frames for sure. Damn, Daniel says I'd be furious. Damn it. We'll do one more. We'll do one more transfer, and then we'll do just a whatever I want one, and then we'll finish on a transfer. Danette says, I love supporting your expression of art and culture. Thank you. I couldn't do it without the support, so I've been very thankful for everybody who helps me do this. So we're going for a jug for this one, and then either a butterfly or another flower pattern for the transfer. Amanda says, ooh, butterfly. I'm not sure if this one will be big enough to fit the butterfly from where we're at, but let's see if we can open it up more. Peel's just is saying, I feel like they're vintage at this point. His style has changed a lot too. I'm not sure which ones you're talking about, but I've noticed that I don't use my old ones for mystery boxes anymore because I just feel like they're kind of like not good enough. But maybe for people who have a big collection, it'd be cool to have some old pieces. I might start putting them as little bonuses sometimes in people's orders, just so I can get rid of them but not charge the same amount as the higher quality stuff. The Dairy Mexican says, why can't you use your finger to guide from the outside while you use the tool on the inside? Too much friction. The wheel isn't powerful enough to handle two sources of friction at the same time. The finger produces double to triple the amounts that the tools do. And if you're pinching, it's going to just fully stop the wheel. Because says, that's how I view like rare artifacts. Yeah, they're just like not going to be the main thing in a mystery box anymore. But if you want the old ones when I wasn't good at it and wasn't signing the pieces, let's call them artifacts. Deanna says, was it you who got the blindfold piece for the 10,000 viewers? It was not. The last blindfolded piece I got has not been, the last blindfolded piece I did has not been claimed from the person who dibs it. They haven't answered my emails. But the one before that, I think that might have been the 10,000 one. That person did get it as well as like 2 other vases. But they're not someone who's in regularly. Terrorbear says, if I pick from another place and have them dibs already, can you send them all together? Yeah, no. You'll have to time it for when your dibs piece is done. Because if you're talking about the other place, they have a thing where you have to send it within 4 days. Otherwise, I get in trouble. So if you order there and you're still waiting on a dibs piece, then I would need to send it out right away. I couldn't wait until your dibs is done. Amy says, I think you really need a night where we can buy the unclaimed pieces. Absolutely true. Dana says, that night was so fun. Silly Lizzie says, who claimed this one? This one that I'm doing right now? No one, I believe. Amanda says, do you plan on doing another blindfolded piece? I do. Probably this week to celebrate the 20,000. Terror Bear says, I don't want to get you in trouble. I'll think about how I want to do it. Of course. Yeah, you can order that one now. and it would just be getting charged twice on shipping would be the problem. Or you can wait until I let you know the other one's done and then pick up some stuff on the Etsy at that point. Just, I can't guarantee it'll still be there. Silly Lizzie says, how do I claim this piece? You would just say dibs, then take a screenshot when it's done and send me a picture through either the dibs form or TikTok messages. But this piece is still going through a lot of changes, and I have some specific stuff in mind. So I don't know if you'll want to be dibsing so soon, but you can if you want. Tara says, shipping is why I was thinking to hold off. I'm in a pickle. Yeah, totally understandable. Silly Lizzie says, so can I call dibs right now? I believe you can, if you so wish. This is kind of too round for a good transfer, but I'm going to try anyway. Dana says, you were so nervous that night, Ryan, but you did amazing and was ready to do it again another time. Silly Lizzie says, yeah, it's dibs. Nice. So my plan for this one was a yellow transfer with a flower pattern on it, or we'll see if a butterfly fits, but I'm not sure if a butterfly will fit this rounded shape. But if you're dibsing because of the butterfly, I could try to make it work. Silly Lizzie says, but you'll have to show me how to like do this stuff. Screenshot? Do you know how to screenshot? That's the most important part. Other than that, just go to my profile and send me a message and I'll try to walk you through the steps. If you can't figure out a screenshot, I can also just take a picture of this and send it to you, but you need to you'll need to start a TikTok message with me. J-Bear says, can you do relief cuts on a transfer? I actually don't know what that means. Silly Lizzie says, screenshot right now? No, screenshot once it has its design on it. So once I say it's done, go ahead and screenshot. But right now we've acknowledged your dibs and no one else will be trying to take this one. Brit Peace and a heart me, thank you very much. Yeah, I don't want to do, hey, thank you so much, Brit P, for the little crown. Terber says, there's such a little space to type it out, but it keeps it from creasing your design. So it would probably involve using scissors to do the cuts. I'm really, really bad with scissors. If you've noticed, all of these transfers are actually ripped instead of cut with scissors. I've tried that before, but it's very difficult to get the rips in the right place for it not to crease. So when I tried it before, I just end up ripping the design and also creasing it. It's one of the main reasons I don't like doing what's it called? Underglaze transfers. Okay, let's see what we have here. Deanna says, never scissors. Tara says, you could rip too, but cutting is better. I understand that argument. I will never use scissors. I've been getting peer pressure for scissors for the entire 2 years I've been doing this, and I've maybe used it once. Okay. What do we think for the design? Butterfly? It would have to be on sideways to fit, I think. And, or, let's see. Or I could try to grab some of these. These tend to use better than the blue. Graphics artist followed by Chris says, today I made one. Cool. Tracy says butterfly. Shauna says, now I'm imagining Ryan desperately trying to use scissors like someone in an infomercial. Very accurate. You're using your imagination well. Silly Lizzie says, the second choice I would think. Well, you are the person who dibs, so let's try it your way. Haya says, butterfly can partly fit. Add a few flowers first. Oh, so you're thinking like, So you're thinking like put this on and then butterfly over it, where in the part that's not covered by the flowers? That might be cool. I might like that idea. I like from Cali sent a heart me. Thank you very much. Hi, sent a smiley face. Simple Disaster says that sounds amazing actually. Okay, so we're gonna have some of those crinkles that we were talking about. That's just part of the process and nobody's mad. Silly Lizzie says, I like that idea. This looks to be about the right size. We'll see. We might even put a few more of the yellow in there, depending on how it looks, and then put the butterfly over it. But we'll see. Unstable live connection. Uh-oh, we might lose connection again. Keep me updated in the chat if anything freezes. Dana says that's gonna look pretty. Yeah, I should have ripped it though. I got excited for the plan and didn't properly prepare. Thankfully, these ones tend to look alright when they crease, because it just is kind of like a weird pattern anyway. Yeah, but these are gonna be hella creased. Simple Dash is not gonna sleep in the chat 2 nights in a row. Yeah. Oh, hey, someone just made an order. That's awesome. I'll be able to get that out in the next like 2 days too, because I have some orders to deliver. Thank you for the order. I did not leave myself a place to grab onto this. This is going to be better than the blue one, but it's going to be a little messed up because of my enthusiasm and the curve to this. Hey. Terry says, dang, now I gotta go back to the other place and see if it was one of the pieces I saved. Oh, that wasn't you? Oh. Yeah, because someone might have noticed you were looking at them. Damn, Daniel says, curb your enthusiasm. I'll try. Okay. I'm likely going to do a little bit of black on top here anyway, and that'll end up covering a lot of the where it didn't quite do. Holly from Cali says, looks like my picture finally showed up. Hey, way to go. Simple Disaster says, nice, thank you very much. Okay, let's see. Peel just says pizza? Ooh, that's an interesting idea. We'll check with the dibs holder if we like the idea of pizza along the rim. But, how about that? I think I'm gonna go for it. Tara says pizza and black? Perhaps. A Simple Disaster says pizza is the 100 grain of tools. I actually went to a store today and to see if I could buy a metal tracer wheel to see if I could get another texture tool, but they didn't have it. It's really hard to get the hey, thank you for the Simple Disaster. Thank you so much for the little crowns. Silly Lizzie says, yeah, I wouldn't mind something pizza or whatever. It's really hard to get the shape to go around the curve on a curved one of these, but we're trying our best. I think that we got most of that is in the right place. Except this here, that went bad. Okay, let's curve it like that. There we go. Poor butterfly wing. Okay, this one I'm not supposed to drag because it has a much higher chance of running. Thank you so much for those little crowns again, Simple Disaster. That was a lot of them. Okay, we're gonna lose antenna for sure. And this wing will be messy, but otherwise it's still gonna be a nice butterfly. Silly Lizzie says, sorry if I fall asleep. Get a screenshot now just in case you do fall asleep. But we're almost done. Okay, let's hurry up. Wish me luck. Hey, that's looking pretty good. Britt says lack and then luck. Okay, I was like, what? Faith says yes, my show is on. Awesome. Buffet says beautiful. Silly Lizzie says wow. And then Beal just says black rim pizza tool. Let's do that. So we're gonna do this quick so somebody can get to sleep. But we'll do black rim and then pizza tool the down to where the pattern starts. Print piece is beautiful. Sorry about the flying butterfly. I'll be quick about this. Mary Amby says, great job. Thank you. Uh-oh. There's a little bit of debris on here that would stop it from spinning. There we go. Oh, this is kind of perfect. Feels this is great. DK Grandma says beautiful. Silly Lizzie says wow. Take your screenshot now. Tara says I love it. Shauna says ooh, that's nice. Marion B says lovely. Simple Disaster says that is perfect, not even kinda. Thank you. I'm gonna dry it so we can take it off here. This is a pretty wet design, so it might what's it called? Smudge if I take it off without drying it. Simple Disaster says, my keyboard is being strange. That wasn't intended as emphasis, the random capitalization. I read it as emphasis. Tracy says, that's gonna look so cute once fired. I agree. Silly Lizzie says, okay, I got a screenshot. Go ahead and message me. You won't be able to send the screenshot right away, but once I approve your message, you'll send the screenshot for me, and that will be your dibs. We got some good pieces tonight so far. I'm always disappointed with that blue. It looks so nice on the page, but it has a hard time transferring. This looks great. Marianne B says, can we see it before you ship? You mean like when it's done? Yeah, I always do a show off before I ship them out. A couple of them usually before I ship them. Okay. This next one, I'm gonna do one for me, meaning I'm just gonna do a wacky thing. Faith says, now that's what I'm talking about, perfection. Real quick, let's look at all the ones we've done tonight so far. We have our butterfly with the yellow flowers. We have our fox transfer, which actually turned out great. And then we have our blue and the pizza tool with black lines. William Ross followed the live career. Thank you very much. Amy sent a heart me. Thank you. Kelly Kendra says, do you email before when you ship? I email before because that's when I get payment before I ship. I used to not do that. I used to ship them out, and then I didn't get paid for like $80 worth of vases, and then I've stopped doing that. Fabio Eduardo followed the live creator and says Brazil. I say, hey, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for follow. Mike A reposted it. Appreciate that. Thank you. Man, I'm gonna have to rebuild the algorithm, aren't I? Kelly Kindred says, okay, perfect. I have a dibs from a while ago. Looking forward to your email from a while ago. Do you have a ongoing TikTok message with me? Because I sent out the last group, I sent out emails and I didn't hear back from a lot of people, but emails aren't always, sometimes I get stuck in the spam folder or something. Kelly Kindred says I should. Double check with me because I do have a lot of unclaimed dibs. I want to make sure that's not you. So send me a TikTok message, and after I'm done with the stream, I can check to make sure yours is still in the waiting list. Jeannie says, hi, Texas is snowbound. I hope you're staying warm and safe. Danette says, it took me about 3 weeks to receive mine. You got very, very lucky then. The turnaround has been a lot longer than 3 weeks for a while. And I apologize to everyone about that. But yeah, there's just a very big backlog. Hi, I followed the live critic. Thank you very much. I don't think I'm gonna like this one. This one was supposed to be for me, but I'm not liking how the clay's feeling. BS Home says, hi. I say, hey back, I hope you're doing well. BS says, I have a big one with pizza tool that I'm waiting on, and Jeannie's mug that I want to see. The mug should be in the next one. The big one with the pizza tool might also be in the next one. I'm not 100% on that. The pizza tool ones aren't the most like eye-catching before they're fired, when they're full coverage. So, but the big ones I think all went into the same fire process. Tony says, did you show Holmes the mug you made? It was for them tonight, right? I don't remember, because I remember I got multiple messages about a fox one, so I don't remember who wanted the sleeping fox mug. Or not mug, but not jug. Jar. But BS Home says, that's me? Okay, then real quickly I'll show you what we got going. I hope it's to your liking. I'll try to put it back here. BS Home says dibs. We had already discussed it was for the person who was waiting on it, and I believe that's yours. BS Home says love. But I know I need to make 2 of those. Kira says, what are you making? I have no idea on this one. I said I didn't want to do any more transfers tonight, but I don't have a plan for this one. It's going to be something porcelain. It's going to be some sort of miniature vase, but I don't have an idea. Ashley Jones says, morning, evening. And I say, hey back. Kira says, oh, okay, have fun. Thanks. Beal just says, sister's texture wheel over underglaze. That frightens me. That's a frightening idea. Don't scare me like that. Purpy says, the other person wanted a different fox. Thanks for everybody remembering all of this better than I do. Yeah, I think for the jumping foxes, since they're a little less compact, I have to use the other wheel to make a bigger piece. I'll do that idea someday, not tonight. That sounds like such a mess to clean and to try to clean the shape, because that wheel always knocks a piece off shape, and then you have to correct it. And if there's already underglaze on it, like how are you gonna correct it? Beelzebub says, okay, I'll dare you soon. Yeah, on a night where I'm like hella cocky. Amanda Davis says, maybe from the inside, maybe? I fully don't think that would work because the tool that I use is always bigger than the inside of a piece. We might just texture tool this one though. It's actually a really good line that I made for a transfer to go on. I might do another scatter shot transfer. I've done that once before on the last transfer night we did, where we do transfer what's it called? Transfer scraps, and then just really layer the design. Does anyone have objection to that? I think it might work well on this. Marianne B says, sounds great. Terber says, do you have any green underglaze? Yeah, we have 3 greens. We have apple green, we have leaf green, and we have hunter green. Hunter green is the favorite. Terber is asking for a friend. Peg says, can you put candle in it? And these would be a bit too small for most candles. Like a tea light would be far too wide. But like a birthday candle would fit not if you like, this is like 3 birthday candle wide. Bism says, just sitting here so happy. I'm glad to hear it. Kelly Kindred says, I messaged you. Thank you. Simple Disaster says, only accidental modding designs. Only accidental. Jeannie says, I have an idea for the wrinkles on transfers, but you don't use modern tools. Nope. I make all of my transfers with the caveman technology of ripping the paper. It's all I know how to do. It's all I shall ever do. PS Home says only ancient spells. It's essentially, yeah. So this is going to be like a graffitied piece with layered designs. So it's alright if they come out a little messy, a little blended, a little layered, well ripped or folded. Terror says swiping, no swiping. That is the best way for me to remember not to swipe. That is really, really helpful. I love saying that. I've never even watched Dora, but the swiper motto it's good stuff. I thought the T would work better than it did. There we go. There. That's not bad at all. Oh man, it helps the curses soak in. That's a good point. Alright, next will be... Someone kind of stuck to the table. I don't know if it'll be good. Because Home says the textures turned out well. That's good. Chrissy Colors sent a heart me. Thank you very much. Beal just says, I love these wild ones. Cool. I'm glad to hear it's appreciated as a design. And it's from the cutouts that Cheryl makes for her pieces that use the transfers. And we might actually be getting an update to the Amazon wish list at some point, because we're needing more transfers of these designs for her project. And she was like, oh, we're going to have to buy more transfers. I'm like, well, we could put it on the Amazon wish list. Kelly Kindred says, dibs if not already spoken for. I think you got it. As simple as that, she says, I also love these. Let's do a little overlap. Yeah, that's a fine idea. You can do swiping on these ones. The yellow is a very good transfer. It kind of always works out, and swiping helps with it adhering well. Monica says, failed to find the Snickers hubby hid from himself earlier, setting for a yogurt and apple. Yogurt and apple is great. I'm happy for you. Bill just says, these transfers are coming out sharp. Yeah, the yellow is the best that there is. This green one is going to be weak for sure. Wait, is it this side? Yeah, it is. The yellow's the best, and then these black ones tend to be pretty good if I don't swipe too hard. Simple Test says, the combo of these are so great. I'm glad you like it. Actually, let's go a little further down. I lost my sponge. There it is. Kelly Kindred says, I love everything about this. Simple as says, man, this is a great dibs. Always happy to hear that. Yeah, I'm glad I called the audible and went back to the wild transfer for this one. It's always fun. Really hard to mess up too. Chris Holmes says, whoa, that looks so cool. Let's see. Hey, not bad. Not as sharp as the yellow, but a lot better than green usually does. Guess Home says, hard to mess up, an instant hit, win-win. Exactly. Amanda Davis says, it's a great contrast. Because that says, new blue would look cool. Kelly. New blue meaning the blue underglaze, like on the inside? Royal blue? And then Beal just says, yes. Let's hear it from the dibs person. What color do you want on the inside of this? Kelly Kindred says blue rim. Do you want it to go all the way to the inside? I think that might be it in terms, unless we want any more transfers on it, but like I feel like we have enough overlapping. Maybe one more black. And Kelly Kindred says yes, blue on the inside. Can do. I'll go grab that in a minute. I'm gonna see if we can get one more of the black. Hi, it says darker green on the inside maybe. I like that pattern suggestion too, but we have a dibs already on this one, so we're going off what they suggested. Kelly Kindred says it's beautiful, all the transfers, it's perfect. Agreed. Well, if we're doing a blue rim, I probably won't focus on getting it to go in the rim. Oh, remember, no swiping. On the black one, it's pressing instead. Okay, it says love that flower. Kelly Kindred says love that flower. This home says I love the shading. Yeah, you have to be careful. That's why you don't want to swipe with this one, because it will ruin the shading. Nice. Cool. I'll grab the blue for this. Royal blue. Terrace is so good. Kelly Kindred says, Chef Rit Kiss Ryan, beautiful, thank you. Amy M says, ooh, this is a new technique to me. Underglaze transfers or the layering of them? Mary Amby says, you got a winner here. I'm glad to hear it. Oh, I've noticed in the last day or so that TikTok messages isn't doing a good job of loading its pictures for me. And hopefully that's just going to be like a 24-hour problem. And I might be asking people to resend pictures if I'm not able to load them. Amy says, other times I've just seen you paint solid colors. Oh yeah, well, cool. I'm glad you're able to check this out. This is called underglaze transfers. And then we also do paint on top. I'm gonna go around the rim one more time. Kelly Kindred says, oh, I love it. I kind of do too. Feel just says awesome. Lisa says lovely. Simple Disaster says, this reminds me of an artist whose name I can't remember. Yeah, it's definitely evocative of something established, but I'm not sure who. Amy M says that blue is pretty. Yep, it's a really good blue. PS Home says, also join us for theme night every 10th of the month to watch Ryan hate that he agreed and have fun. That's accurate. Amy says, I can't wait to see this one finished. Okay. Because this says 20-minute micro time. I was gonna, yeah, maybe. I have one more piece of clay left. I might just do a pizza tool piece with some, similar to what I did last night. That cut off. These are great. I'm happy with all of these. Because it says, woohoo! Because home says, all facts, no printer. I don't know what that was about. And I followed the live crew. Thank you very much. Terry Bear says, I was so bummed last night. I wanted to see the finished piece. Okay. This is probably what we'll be trying to do anyway. Because home says, what happened? Full freeze last night. I might have lost like all my tips from that night. But they're just like updating stuff, and hopefully things will normalize in the next few days. So this is pretty much what I'm aiming for on this next one. Maybe with the blue rim. Because Beal just says that yellow will be perfect for Easter season. Terra says she's so cutie. Hey, I'll try to get the Mary MB sent a little crown. I appreciate it. Someone says, oh, there was an outage. There was. Started right at the end of the stream and messed with all sorts of stuff on my end. And I think it's still ongoing for some people, which is why we're getting a significant less people in the live tonight. Hopefully it'll pick up again soon. Amy M says, yeah, last night was wild. Yeah, fingers crossed. Tara says, that's so upsetting to hear. I'm sorry. Hopefully they can fix anything it messed up. I'm hoping too. I know for a fact, though, we lost the recording of last night's live. That is not anywhere in my system. Because this is only one spammer, though. Ooh, yeah. That's actually kind of nice. But that does just mean we're less popular. Great way to look on the bright side, though. People just says, Amy mods the horse breeder I watch. Cool. Amy M says, suddenly I couldn't even see the live anymore. I was in the middle of modding a live and suddenly everything went hot. Haywire. Because someone says, do you talk about cats? Last night? I must have. I've been talking about that thing for years, and I'm always finding new things to say. It's dense. I haven't even talked about the villain. I have not even mentioned the villain, and he is worth talking about. Chris Holmes says, I was in my fields today and almost put cats on to feel every other feeling instead. I've done that. I've very much done that. Turbo says, you still mentioned cats. It's my favorite movie. Some people talk about Star Wars. I think there's more to talk about with cats. Amanda Davis says, I've never seen it. I recommend. I can't recommend it because that seems like a cruel thing to do. But do your research. It's interesting. Fat Terror says, which cat's the good one or the new one? The new one. The good one's just okay. The new one is an experience. VS Holmes says, Star Wars 9 plus films versus Cats 2019. There is more to talk about. VS Holmes says, it is, in totally serious, Ryan's favorite, but he does not like it. Yeah. Yeah, my favorite but I don't like it is probably the best way to describe it. This is gonna get so off center. We should end it on that last one. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Sandy says, what type of clay do you use? This is porcelain, CKK6. Kelly Kindred says, I did my dibs for him. Awesome. Fat Terra says, have you read the poems that Cats is based off of? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. When I went to Sweden, I found that book on a friend's family bookshelf, and I was like, wait, I know these cats. I know all of these cats. PS Home says, do you have a cat's tattoo? Not yet. That would be such a hard decision, though. Just which... Scramble Shanks. Never mind, it's not that hard. I'd get a Scramble Shanks tattoo. Amanda Davis says, is it different than the Broadway play? Significantly. It's, I think, the same exact plot, but execution is what matters. You guys got me on this again. Fat Terrace says Quaxo for me. Interesting. Sean says, I've seen Cats on stage 3 times. Still haven't watched the movie version, though. Oh, you have to. You know what? I'm going to just go for it. Everybody needs to watch it. You've seen the stage play 3 times. That's interesting. Who's your favorite cat? Peg says, my husband wants to know if you can make cigarette snuffers. I don't know. I've never had that suggestion, so I don't know what that shape is. I'll have to look into it. That's a new one. Alec from Cali says, I'm allergic to cats. That's kind of what the experience of watching the movie is like. PS Home says you should create a BuzzFeed Cats quiz. There's already a ton. There's already a ton. But I'm not gonna take them. I don't want it. I don't want them to tell me I'm a cat that I'm not. I want scramble shakes, but they're gonna say, "Do you hang out on trains a lot?" And I'll have to answer no, and then they're not gonna give me scramble shakes. Monica Aurora says, "Yeah, it was weird. I tried again, and my hubsy was laughing and distracting me. We shut it off. You gotta try harder." Laughing at you is part of it. The movie itself is laughing at you. You just have to laugh back harder. Monica Aurora says, "I tried twice, Ryan. How many lives do cats have? That's how many times you need to try to watch this movie. Not even 3 strikes you're giving it. You gotta give it 9 attempts." And I'm also curious how far into it you got. Anthony says, "Ooh, pottery awesome." Amanda Davis says, "The snuffers are basically the vase shapes with the inside the size of a cigarette." Oh yeah, totally. I mean, theoretically this one would work then. It's about the size, diameter of a cigarette. Monica Aurora says, "I got to the part where Jason Derulo was singing about milk." Yeah, that's a hard stop for a lot of people. It's really. Monica Aurora says, "End of his song." I will be honest, it does get a lot worse after that, but it does get worse before it gets. It doesn't get better. It just gets worse. But Taylor Swift's in it. I don't know if that helps. Some people gotta get that far at least. PSM says, "Jay didn't stand a chance. I was already so done." Monica Aurora says, "It gets worse." Oh, really? Buster for Jones is nearly unwatchable, even for a fan as myself. And there's a really long version of their opening theme that they do again. And that one's hard to get through. It goes on like 15 minutes. Stephanie says, "I feel like I'm scared to watch it. My daughter would probably fall in love and make me watch it 100 times." That would be an interesting psychological experiment. Because I could not watch that 100 times. Okay, it's a little off. I wanted to do a full pizza tool, but it's a little off. Let's just try it anyway. Peg says, "I like this shape." I'm glad you do. Is there a break in the RAM? Let's stop and see. I have to be quick though. There is not. We're good. Dax and a Harvey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Because Tom says, Ryan, don't cut yourself short. You can do it 100 times. Stephanie says she loves two things, cats and Taylor Swift. It makes you hate both of them. It makes you really not want to look at a real cat for a while. Taylor says, Dibs, are you sure? I'm just about to do the pizza tool. See how you like how it looks after. Let's see how that turned out. Terra says, plus my other dibs is also pizza. You love pizza. Terra says, I do want you. I won't love this shape. Okay, let's see how it turned out. Ooh, that's cool. Terra, do you mind a blue ramen inside? Because that was my plan. That's really cool. Terra says, can we do green inside? Hunter green? Yeah, I can do that. Once I find it. Anthony says, I have a question. Is pottery hard to master? I feel like pottery is easy at the same time. It's... Most things are, I would say, hard to master, but... you can get pretty good at it pretty quickly. Tuscany Rose says, damn, I just logged in. Stunning. Terra says, yes, please. I've been doing this for 2 years-ish. And I wouldn't consider myself a master, but I've gotten to the point where people like what I make. Tuscany Rose says, who dibs it? Tear Bear did. Tear Bear says, perfect, stunning. Yeah. Tear Bear says, love her. I should do a Cats 2019 trivia night, and whoever gets the most right, thus proving they watched the entire movie, gets a free vase. Bill just says, I'm so down. But they're not gonna be Googleable things. They're gonna be my opinion on individual cats. Tuscany says, what? Because Tom says, do I need to take notes? Absolutely. Simple Disaster says, I will fail, but I'm so in. And if I wrong answers, meaning I notice you haven't watched the movie, we'll be deducting points and will double the cost of the next vase you buy. So that's the reason you have to, if you you have to actually watch. You can't just be doing wild guesses. PS Home says, I love this plan. Shauna says, okay, I'll go watch it, you convinced me. James Connor the Poly says, that's a nice teal, and followed the life career. Thank you very much. Anthony says, but you have to spin the pottery thing and it looks so hard in my personal opinion. I've taught a couple of classes now, and every time I've taught a class, the person within an hour has been able to make something. I've had to give them a little help at times. They fall over and then we have to start over again. But within an hour, you can probably make, with the right instruction, something pretty similar to this. But it does look hard, which is why I'm successfully charging for these. Okay, we're gonna do a quick look at everything we made tonight. And then I say goodnight. It was cool to have a chiller live with a smaller audience, but I do hope that fixes itself sometime soon. Because Home says, what night, Ryan? I don't know. Give me some time to figure this out. And remind me a bunch of times. Beal just says, Ryan, there's a Potter streamer in here. Cool. James Conner, the Potter. Hey. I'm assuming that's who it is. Stephanie says, give us some time to watch. So we have our transfer with the blue. We have our, what's it called? Transfer? Fox transfer. We got the butterfly. We got the blue. And we have the pizza tool. And this is a hunter green, by the way. And then here's what we've been working on lately. Okay, that is it for tonight. I'm going to turn the phone around and say goodnight. Hello, I'm Ryan Cudahy. I make the pots every night between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. My name is Ryan Cudahy Ceramics on other places if you want to check that out. Jesse says needs to be a Saturday Catterday. That makes sense to me and I'll allow it. And I'll have to watch the movie again so I can make up the trivia questions. So that's the reason that Cheryl will let me watch Cats again. Thank you, Britt P, for the little crown. That's it for me tonight. I'll try to be back tomorrow. Good night.